Thanks for joining us on Profit with a Plan podcast. This is where you can get some great ideas to make your most profitable small business. Just so you know, financial planning isn't only for those that have a lot of money or run big companies. A financial business plan is for us everyday small business owners and professionals that want to make great financial decisions that lead to bigger profits. So join me, Marcia, your financial business strategist, each Tuesday for some smart ideas that can lead to more profits on your bottom line. I've helped tons of business owners set up and take action on their business plan so that they know the exact steps that they should be taking to making more money and growing their profits fast. So if you're curious, share this podcast with them, or let's chat and see how we can work together to create greater profits in your business. So I am so excited today. I have my friend Mike Flores here. He's the president of Inner Champion Consulting, which is an executive coaching and leadership training firm that coaches to upper level executives, entrepreneurs, leaders in the financial, nonprofit, and sports sector. After graduating from UCLA, and don't let that sway you either way, Mike has worked for 15 years in the university as an instructor, coach, and director of development, 5 different universities, including UCLA, University of Hawaii, and University of Arizona. But for the last 20 years, he has owned his own company with a focus on leadership and executive coaching and facilitation services. He has provided leadership consulting for local leaders of universities, community colleges, local nonprofit organizations, and leaders of $100 million plus organizations. Additionally, Mike has a long history of community involvement and sits on over 12 nonprofit boards. Besides graduating from UCLA, he's a graduate of the Coaches Training International, and he is an executive coach and part of the International Coaching Federation. Mike also has an athletic background. He was a quarterback at UCLA and coached Division I college football for 10 years, including the UCLA champions when they went to the Rose Bowl. So how cool is that? Mike, you have quite a bit of experience as a coach for business leaders and sports. How can you help us, especially today, embrace the challenge of the moment?
First off, Marcia, it's so nice to be with you, and it's an honor actually to be invited to be on your podcast, and so I'm most grateful. And
well deserved, and I'm so happy to have you because we are facing challenging times right now, and it's important to know how to embrace this.
You know, I've been thinking about that a lot, and one of the things that came to me is, first of all, the word embrace. What does it mean, right? And so there are 2 definitions of embrace. One is to hold someone closely in your arms, especially as a sign of affection, right? Exactly.
Love it. And I am
right now.
So missing hugs right now, everybody.
I know, exactly. So am I. So I'm a hugger like you are, you know. And the second definition is accept or support a belief, theory, or change willingly and enthusiastically. Okay.
I like that.
So embrace, I think it's the right, for me, it's the right word, because when we combine the 2 definitions, you know, I mean, when we think of embracing, we think of a physical act of holding each other close. So that's as defined in the first definition. But the second thing is also just the act of accepting what it is and embracing it. As I thought about this topic here, you know, the first words that came to me actually was accept a challenge. All right. Accept is okay. You know, accept's a good word. It's not embrace. It's not embrace though. Okay. So when you embrace something, it takes on greater connotation. And that's what I'm talking about. I mean, right now, these are crazy times. I mean, I'm a little older than you, just a little older than you, maybe a little bit more than older. And so I in terms of my lifetime, I'm thinking, all right, so when was anything close to this? And I'm thinking of, I was alive, very young, however, in the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. And I still remember listening to TV where President Kennedy came on and said that basically if the Russians go into the port of Cuba, we're going to have war. And at that time, the big topic was nuclear war. And so for a short time, the whole country was in a fear mode, right? But that was just a brief time, maybe 2 or 3 days. You know, now it's just such a unique time in our history. Yesterday I went walking. I live down by the Back Bay, and it's crazy that we're walking and you see somebody else
and they'll go
walking the other
super
distance.
wide around you.
You've got to go all the way around. And then you see someone without a mask, you list to get a little bit, you know, oh, I better walk even further away from him. So again, these are just really unique times. And so what do unique times call for? Call for great leadership, don't they?
I like that.
Leadership. And so we've been lucky enough in history to this the 20th century to have just great leaders. I mean, FDR, when he became president in 1932, it was still part of the Great Depression. 1941, December 7th, 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. He had to deal with not only the Great Depression, transition into that, but now we have a world war at our hands. And so during history, numerous great leaders have come into our mind. But now, great leadership is to me a call for great leadership is needed individually. That's where it starts. All right. So yes, our government, our president, our governor, our mayors of our elected officials are dealing and exhibiting great leadership on their own end. But we have to exhibit right now great leadership individually, great leadership with our family, great leadership with our companies. I mean, many people that are listening right now are business owners. They're called to great leadership.
It's time to step up. It's time to step up, right?
It is time to step up, and they have to embrace the challenge. And it's hard. It's not easy.
I like that.
And so people are talking about right now, all right, we have to reinvent ourselves. I don't like that term, reinventing, because reinventing means that you start from scratch, you know?
Or change everything up.
Exactly.
I don't think we have to change. I think shifting.
Exactly.
Or slight pivots, but not U-turns or 360s.
Exactly.
Shifts.
No. Yeah. And how do you shift? First of all, you've done some great things. Why do you want to move what you've done already that is really successful? What is very positive and has had great impact in your business, in your personal life, and all that stuff. All right. So you accept that. Use that as your foundation. Use that as your core. But now, okay, there's something else that I need to look at. There's some other things that I need to spend time contemplating. You know, I'm not going to sit here and go through the technical aspect of really what is happening as it pertains to business, how to change your business. I'm just going to deal on the leadership part. But looking at what you're doing well is, first of all, your foundation in terms of moving forward. Now, the challenges are great. I mean, I know in our conversations, you're looking at this challenge as something that you're embracing, that you're re-looking at what you're doing and how to go ahead and do it differently, do it better. That's what people need to do. One of the great gifts we have today is technology. Mm-hmm. I mean,
a gift and a pain in the butt at times.
Well, it can be a pain in the butt, absolutely. You know, you can spend way too much time looking for things. But you can also, if you use it constructively, it's a great tool. And that's what I think is one of the things that's happened right now as we sit at home, sitting in your living room, conducting work. You can go ahead and really do kind of your own, first off, personal SWOT analysis, but you know, also go ahead and do a SWOT analysis on your business, not just right now, but what it looks like 3 months from now. And really also, more importantly, using this as an opportunity to really look at ways to where your business is going to be in 5 years, 10 years. And you have right now a great opportunity to sit back, think, and really embrace, as we're talking about, what are the possibilities? Asking yourselves, for example, what if? Okay.
Yeah.
And sitting with that. That's one of the things I like to do is I like to pose, okay, what if I start doing my own podcast? Okay.
Yeah.
What if, like you are, you know, what if, what does that look like? What will that bring to me as a businessman? And so that's just an example of the what if question.
I love it. I love it. So bringing in times of change, it's great. I think it's fabulous to look at your SWOT analysis, your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats, and to say, what am I doing well that
Right.
I could be doing better? And what shifts or tactics could I do that could layer onto that and make it even greater? I love it because now's the time that, like you said, if you sit down and we have this extra time, we're not commuting, we're working from home at this time and space of our life, and maybe for the next couple months, I think for the next, at least through the end of the year, business is going to be different. Events and environments, they're talking about sporting engagements not picking up until after the year. So I think with this, it is the time that we can become great leaders.
That's right.
Take this and really create something important. I was talking to someone or listening to someone, and they said many of the greatest companies that are out today were created in times of stress, in times of trouble, in times of bad times. And what's stopping us from being a company like that at whatever level, small, medium, large, you know, mega companies, we can all still have that impact. And I love what you're talking about, Mike.
Yeah. And you know where it all starts, Marcia? I'm going to say it 3 times because this is what I tell everybody that I meet with. First thing it starts with is attitude. Second thing it starts with, attitude. And the third thing it starts with, what do you think number 3 is?
Attitude?
Yeah, that's right, attitude. Exactly. I mean, that's what I sit there. I had a chance recently, which was such an honor for me, to go down to Camp Pendleton and do mock interviews with Marines in transition into the workplace. And it was one of the neatest experiences of my life. I met with, there were like about 50, I think about 50 Marines that were in a group. And so a group of us went down. And each of us interviewed about 4. I had about four Marines that I interviewed with. And these are all people that have been in the service for 25 years plus.
Wow.
Right? And they're going to transition, most of them are transitioning in August. And you talk about leadership. You talk about leaders. And it was interesting. I had someone at the highest rank as a lieutenant colonel, and the lowest rank was a master sergeant. And this one master sergeant, after talking to him, I felt excited. I felt encouraged. I felt, wow, I need to pick my game up. That's the type of leadership that he exhibits, you know, among rank and file. And it was just amazing for me to see someone so excited about leading others. And that's all we talked about. We talked about attitude. That's all he talked about.
Nice.
Yeah.
And all of us business owners are leaders.
Absolutely.
Whether we're leading our team or we're leading our clients, we're
Right.
leaders.
That's
Love
right.
it.
Yeah. I'm a small business owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aren't we all?
So I have to lead my small team, just like others have to lead their larger team, just like others have to lead their big team, and just like others have to lead their great big team, right? But at each level, each of us has an opportunity for us to practice leadership. We can
What are
practice
some of the,
leadership. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, what are some of the ways that you can guide us in ways that we can practice that leadership? You know, maybe people aren't putting the pieces together that they really are leaders, and or maybe that some of the things that we can enhance now that we're in this situation.
All of us need to feel like we're part of something. We're part of a team. And so whether your team that you manage or a part of is only 2 people, or again, could be 1,000 people, all right? We're all part of a team. And so as the leader, it's incumbent upon us to make them, our team members feel valued.
Okay.
That's where it starts. They must feel valued. They must feel appreciated. Positive reinforcement. You know,
Love
sports, you know, in my background, sports, as you said, you know, I mean, I was starting quarterback at UCLA, and I've had a lot of different coaches. I'm sorry, any Trojans listening. But,
yeah, I was just going to say, here in
yeah.
Southern California, there's a big, huge rift between UCLA and USC.
Yeah,
I'm not on either side, but it's so funny to hear the two when they get together. And I'm just so happy that you're proud of UCLA, and I think it's great.
Yes, I am. Yeah. In fact, I was very lucky to be on the UCLA Alumni Board of Directors and served as vice president at one time. So it was quite an honor for me. But in sports, there's a lot of examples of bad leadership. In the days of many people may know who Vince Lombardi was. Well, Vince Lombardi in his time was a great leader, but Vince Lombardi right now would have been fired, you know, because people now, and rightfully so, they need to be valued. They need to be encouraged. They don't need to get their ass kicked in by someone else. They don't need to be demeaned. People need to be encouraged. And so we as leaders, it's again incumbent upon us to give positive reinforcement, encourage our team members, and value them. Everybody wants to be valued.
Love it. Even our clients. So if you're a solopreneur, you know, your client is going to value you, and you should value your client and appreciate them and give them that same attitude and respect, because everybody needs that. And when you have that kind of environment, even in my world, I'm a coach and consultant the same way you are. When I'm talking with my clients and getting them through their problems into the next level so they can move forward, I still have to respect them and value them and lift them and lead them to the vision that I can see that they're stuck in at that moment. So I think with the sports analogy and the fact that we're both, you know, business owners, whether you have a team or not, you're still leading people through it. Even if it's the people at home, right? Your family and your kids or your spouse, you know, there's ways of leading.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting going back to my interview with some of the Marines. One of them said, you know, 10 years ago when I was instructing Marines, I'd say, all right, I want you to do X, Y, and Z, and that would be in the conversation. He said, in today's environment, today's Marine, all right, and you got to believe, I mean, these Marines are committed. I have to tell them not only what they're doing, but why they're doing and how it benefits them. And
Whole
that's
different, yeah.
a whole different animal. And I think it's for the better.
I agree.
One of the things you were asking, so what can you do to like include the people that you lead? A great tool is brainstorming.
Mm.
So right now is a great opportunity to get your team members to brainstorm together about what the short-term solutions are and what the long-term future looks like. I mean, let's use the talents of others on your team.
Absolutely. I've said at least 100 times in this podcast that you're not an island and you shouldn't be doing it alone.
Right.
2 heads, 3 heads, 5 heads are always better than one, because you may
Absolutely.
not see the forest through the trees. You may not see the gap that you're having. And so roundtabling and brainstorming and masterminding and sharing ideas before you go take the leap is a wonderful way. And as a leader, getting that back helps you make much better decisions.
Right. And it's important as a leader, your followers are looking very closely at you.
Hmm.
They're looking at the way you talk to them, the way you look at them, the way you make them feel. They're observing you as you interact with others. Oh, he treats me good, but I see someone over there, he's not treating them very good. Okay, no. Everybody is looking really closely on it. And so we have to be the example of what good leadership is, and it starts with us individually.
Love it. Love it. And that's also the same way as your clients are looking at you. The way you act, the way you're visible in the community, the way you're visible in public, the way you present yourself out there, they're looking at that as well. I love how all this correlates and goes together and creates the bigger picture of you being a leader in the community and in the industry you're in, to your clients, to your employees, to your partners. I'm loving this. This is not where I expected this conversation to go, Mike, but you know what? I'm liking it a lot.
Well, that's great. I constantly look for ways to, first of all, reinforce myself. Okay. Pump myself up. Continue this goal of just having your attitude at the forefront of everything. And I'm reminded of my former boss, Dick Tomey, who was the former head coach, University of Arizona, who passed away almost a year ago now. And we were talking about a guy that I coach with, who's now a coach, actually one of the assistant coaches for the LA Chargers. Go Chargers, by the way. I was telling him, his name is Dick, and Dick, I was telling, Rip, Dick, he always thought that the glass was half full. He said, nuh-uh. He always thought that the glass was overflowing. And I love that. Imagine just being around people who the glass is overflowing. It's not half full. I mean, just think of that image of just that type of positivity just flowing out, And so today, when I was looking at some things, actually on LinkedIn, I saw something that I wanted to share with you. And it was by Herman Edwards, who's a current coach at Arizona State University. Now, I coach football at University of Arizona, so I really don't like Arizona State University. Anyway,
okay, there's another rivalry, huh?
It's another one, yeah. But Herman, who is a really good leader, very good leader. Here's what he said. He said, life is a team sport. He said, we control nothing except our attitude. That's all we control every day we wake up. Isn't that powerful? That's right.
And
we control nothing except our attitude. Wow.
And in a time of feeling out of sorts and uncontrolling or out of control of our finances, of our day-to-day activities, of our business, of our relationships, to be able to focus on something you can control, which is
Right.
your attitude, and
Right.
why not make it positive, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
like it. I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
Good
So, I mean,
stuff.
it's a challenging times.
Yeah. And but if we focus on the good stuff, I was on a call. I'm improvisers, and I was on a call this morning, and we were talking about what are the challenges we're facing, but let's not make it a pity party. Let's make it a positive one, and let's
Right.
be authentic. Nobody, and these are a bunch of attorneys. Nobody in the group, really, except for one person that said that he handles um, claims when people aren't paying, so he thinks his business is going to be rocking coming soon. But nobody's business is doing well right now, really, truly. The grocery stores are probably doing well, but delivery companies or something. But I mean, look at the airlines, look at the hotels, look at the cruise ships, look at everybody is struggling with it. So when you do that, you can let the weight of it bring you down, or
Absolutely.
you can say, okay, hey, I'm in the same boat as everybody here in this group. So now what am I looking for to get some help with?
Yep.
And I mentioned that I have this podcast, I'm looking for guests. I also mentioned that I'm new to Provisor, so I'm looking to meet with people. After it was over, I got 5 requests out of the 50 people, and this was just this morning, to say, hey, let's have a cup of coffee, a virtual cup of coffee, but to get to know each other. That's what it's needed. It's needed to be able to say, hey, I'm in the same boat with you. Let me lift out a hand and stretch it out to you, and have someone help me or drag it back so we can lift each other up together. And it was really,
That's
really encouraging.
that's great. You hit the nail on the head in terms of like reaching out and helping somebody else out. That's where it
Yeah,
starts, doesn't it? Yeah.
it does. It does.
Yeah.
And so we as business owners and leaders, this is a great time for us to shine and really share. Someone had also mentioned to me earlier this week that they're giving their service away because they know it's a time of need and they're doing okay, or they've got enough nest egg that they'll be all right. But that kind of action in the future, someone's going to go, wow, that person gave all that time and energy without any expectations. I'm going to go there. It's setting that leadership quality that says that they're there to give, whether
Yeah.
it's helping out and delivering food. Honda Center is accepting food donations, and there's people making masks, and there's all this extra activity that you can do now shows your leadership and your strength, and gives you that visibility in the community where someone's going to say, wow, she or he did something really great back then. They honored, I'm honored to give them my service,
Right.
or my business. So
Yeah. No.
something to think about.
I'm a member of the executive coaches of Orange County, and ECOC, what the group provides, and there's like about, I think, just under 100 coaches that provide free coaching to nonprofits in Orange County. And this is all about giving.
Mm-hmm.
And you can imagine nonprofits, they're really struggling right now.
Right. Right.
And so trying to lift them up. But you hit on a great point, though, Marcia, that we have to go help others, don't we? We just can't sit there and take care of our own. That's okay. We take care of our own too, but we're also called to help others and reach out in those that even more dire need maybe than we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think when you give, you get, and it's
That's
not,
right.
it may not be monetary, but
No.
you get something. And it's a good sense, it's a good feeling. And in times of feeling down and nobody to talk to, and this struggle and that struggle, what a great time to stand up and do something good for others. So
Absolutely.
I like it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So cool. Well, Mike, this has been wonderful conversation. Are there any other final tips or ideas you want to share with us about leadership and embracing the challenge that we're in right now?
I just think that it all starts with the heart. I used to, when I coach quarterbacks, I would give talks to different organizations, and I'd always ask them, what is the most important part of a quarterback? So people would say, well, he has to have a strong arm, okay? Other people, hey, he has to be really quick on his feet just to elude the rush. And other people where, well, he has to be really smart to know all the plays to call and see the defenses and make adjustments, don't like call. I says, those are all close, but it's not really the most important part. The most important part is to have a heart. And that heart has to be so big that it just doesn't, you can't fit it in a room. It just has to be just unbelievably big and large. And that's what the basis is of being successful and being a great leader and accepting the challenge, embracing the challenge, as we've talked about in today's environment. Have a big heart, man. Got to have it.
I like it. This has been so inspiring and so helpful. And I think that the business leaders and owners that are listening today are finding ideas that they can put into their business by giving and embracing the challenge that we have. I think this is a nice conversation that we've had today, and I think it's been very valuable. And I know it's been hugely valuable to me, but I hope the listeners also pull this out of it. So thanks for coming on. Really
Thank you,
appreciate
Marcia.
you.
No,
All
thank
right.
you very much. It was my honor.
Thank you. So again, thanks for listening today. Hope you found an idea or two to put into your business to take and make more control over your money and make you more profitable. If you'd like to know specifically how to increase your profits in your business, let's chat. My podcast information will be in the description, as well as Mike Flores. His information is going to be out there. I know he's a giving soul, as he's displayed today. So if you want to reach out to Mike, he can definitely help you. And I don't think he'd hold it against you if you were a UCLA or a USC fan.
No, I won't.
So,
no, I won't.
Well, I am super excited to talk about my book, Big Profit Secrets Exposed. Go get that on Amazon, and the link will be included. And then, we would love to hear any of your feedback, questions, or ideas for future shows. As always, you can catch Profit with a Plan on any of your favorite podcast players. And we're looking forward to more profitable information on next week's show. So until then, make your plans and profit with it. Thanks again, Mike.
Thank you.